Welcome to Evangelism FAQ, a Grow video series addressing common fears and misunderstandings about mission. Today's question is friendship and compassionate service the best evangelism? What do you say, Cameron?
Boy, it sounds really nice, doesn't it? But let's break down this question just a little bit, because no one's against compassionate service and friendship. Of course, those are essential, but to say that they are the best evangelism kind of implies that they are, by definition, evangelism. When the reality is they are essential components to a broader evangelistic structure, that they are part of the whole, but they are not a replacement for it. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, because for some individuals and maybe even church families, we've seen such an emphasis on social outreach projects and meeting the needs of others and community service things that are good and well-intended, but they've become such a vital thing that they've come to be viewed as evangelism itself.
Right.
And so the evangelistic thrust of the local body might actually be tilted or imbalanced so that now you do a lot of preparing of the soil through those acts, but maybe not so much sowing of the seed or cultivating through Bible studies or calling for decisions. It all of a sudden becomes outreach is our evangelism.
That's right.
Or service is our evangelism. So we need to keep that carefully in mind.
So there's got to be components to evangelism, and you can't have, say, public evangelistic meetings be your only evangelism, and you can't have compassionate service be your only evangelism. These are components of an evangelistic process, and without every part, you're not going to grow in the way that you could. I know that there are some people who say, you know what, we have grown our church, and we'll tell you how we've done it. Through random acts of kindness. Well, okay, I'm all for acts of kindness. In fact, I prefer intentional acts of kindness.
Drop the random.
Drop the random part. But acts of kindness in and of themselves do not grow a church. They prepare the soil, they gain confidence, they show people we care, but then there has to be the other elements of sharing the truth and ultimately then leading people into a clear understanding of that truth. The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 14, the Apostle Paul says this, "How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher?" You know, as much as there is benefit to us ministering to people's needs, we must go to the next step. And people, if they're going to hear, there must be someone to share the truth.
And you know, think about it, when someone joins the Seventh-day Adventist Church, this great movement that the Lord has raised up, it is not just another denomination. There is a distinctive message. There's a whole perspective from the gospel that we have to understand and appreciate. Now, you can come into the Seventh-day Adventist Church through Bible studies. You can have a public evangelistic campaign, but it's all going to be wrapped around that Bible message that you understand and adapt your life to by God's grace. Now, you can come into the Adventist Church without necessarily going to a supper club or having visited a community service center.
Going to a concert,
whatever
social.
Exactly, those good things are.
Right.
But no one comes in without understanding this Bible message.
That's right.
And so while you can have the one, you can't have it a replacement for the great burden of the work, which is the message God has given us to bear.
That's right. So I guess what we're saying here is we must do compassionate service. We should be making friends. We should be doing so many things for our community that help to sympathize with them, to minister and mingle with them, and to gain their confidence. But then we cannot say that that replaces the sharing of the truth. Just like any other phase of the evangelistic process, we need to see it as part of the process and not the whole. So as you minister to people's needs, remember, you're preparing the soil and gaining confidence so you can plant seed. And that seed can bear fruit all the way to a rich harvest and the continuing of the evangelistic cycle. Well, we pray that the Lord will bless your labors and grow your church.